it is now coming up on the 5 o'clock hour on Thursday, the 19th of January, 2023, here in the city of Cusco. So I'm going to try to give you a quick rundown of where things are at right now. Things outside my apartment have largely calmed down. There appear to be some people trying to finish up some construction work that they wanted to do today. So that indicates some calming. There hasn't been a fresh march passed in like an hour, so there's that. On the other hand, there is word coming in that a group of vandals is trying to take the airport. So they've closed the airport again, which they keep doing again and again. But anyway, yeah, so apparently they're down by the airport where there is a construction project to build a bypass, an expressway, and police are on the airport side of it in riot gear with their shields and everything. And then the vandals are on the other side of it. I'm seeing maybe 40 of them. It looks like 30 to 40. It's hard to say because they're in clouds of tear gas, but they appear to be chucking rocks and that sort of thing. But they definitely do not look like the same crowd at all that was in the protests that you saw earlier going by my house, my apartment. So anyway, they've suspended flights in and out of Cusco. And no, it looks like there's another group, also 30 to 40 people in this mass that I'm watching on the screen over there as I'm monitoring multiple news sources as if I were some kind of, I don't know, like reporter or something. I must be in the wrong business. Anyway, yeah, so that looks pretty hectic down there. Hopefully that can get settled down. For the most part, what I've seen from reports around town and myself, and watching what friends and family are sharing, it's been very calm here in Cusco, and the national police have been acting very rationally. They have been doing things like going ahead of large groups of protesters and clearing the route and making sure that there's no traffic and making sure that there isn't a likely confrontation awaiting them on that route. They have been, staying put and staying calm at strategic points that are considered to be high risk and a lot of that kind of stuff. And, considering everything, they seem to have been doing a pretty solid and decent job. So I haven't heard of any injuries or deaths yet today, and here's hoping that we don't. Really hoping that we don't, because if that happens, then as we have seen in other places, stuff will escalate further. So that's no good. There was really extreme attempts to take the airport in Arequipa, which is Peru's second largest city, a city of about 2 million people. And that was almost successful. But as of about 20 minutes ago, I am seeing reports that the police have retaken control of that airport. However, not before there was significant damage to things like the approach lighting and some of the air traffic control stuff that's, in the environs of an airport, that kind of stuff. So that could be interesting moving forward and everything. So for folks who are hoping to fly into Cusco from someplace else today or tonight, it's not looking good. Tomorrow, who knows? I don't know. I mean, I will tell you that in general, I think if you can fly in, as in if your flights are running, then there are enterprising cab drivers who will do what they can to get you to your hotel or wherever you're going. You know, it's worrisome and unpredictable and volatile. It sounds like there are people who are already not making it out of Aguascalientes, the town at the base of Machu Picchu, tonight, and maybe trains will be running tomorrow. They don't know. Anyway, if you're stuck someplace you didn't expect to be stuck, try to make the most of it, I guess. Unless you decide to go spend time in the middle of a police versus vandals type of conflict. Mostly what you're going to see is like what I showed you earlier going by outside my window, right? Where, you know, there's a little girl on a scooter going one way and protesters going the other way, and then protesters continuing to do their thing in freezing cold rain and high winds, and, you know, a lot of that kind of stuff. So that's where that's at. It does look like things are heating up in Lima, that protesters are making more efforts to get close to the halls of Congress and some other places that have long been no-go zones. So we're not talking about like they just got made no-go zones by this government or in response to this protest, but like 20 years that you're not supposed to be going in there and all of that kind of thing. So it does sound like there have been some incidents of, you know, hurling rocks back and forth with police who are hurling tear gas, right? So it seems like that there is a bit of that going on in Lima right now. So yeah, like in general, I'm going to say like right now is not the ideal time to be going anywhere. Like I live here and I'm staying home. Not that anything's open anyway. But even if stuff was open, I would still be staying home. I still stocked up on, you know, food and everything I'm potentially going to need. I do have a medical appointment tomorrow that neither I nor my doctor has rescheduled yet. So apparently we both think that it could happen. Here's hoping. Also, here are some things I posted as reels earlier that maybe will be of interest. All right, so I've hesitated about making this one, but fuck it. There are people, including some expatriates who've apparently lived here for a few years and who have worked for like mining companies or multinational corporations, who truly cannot believe that indigenous Andean people can organize and fund a large mobilization to go to Lima and protest. And I know that they have, because that's my community that I grew up in and live in and all of that kind of stuff. And so I've seen the fundraising efforts happen. I've seen the collections go down, and I've seen, you know, hundreds of thousands of soles be collected over the past couple of weeks from regular people. And like, frankly, it's weird. It's like people are saying, no, but there's no way, because all of these indigenous Andean people are just like poor farmers and stuff. They don't have that kind of money. And dude, that's not true, for one thing. And even if it is true in some areas, people have resources. And these are, in fact, the descendants of the people who built all these archaeological marvels that everybody like can't figure out how to do. So they're like, oh, it must have been aliens, right? So I'm just telling you, if that's really what you think, then you have never known anybody who had a cargo to put on any of the stuff that needs to happen for a major fiesta. You have never seen an actividad pro salud be carried out to raise funds for somebody who needs their hospital bills paid. You have never seen a faina, let alone participated in it, and you don't realize that there is infrastructure that is hundreds and hundreds of years old that has been maintained by people in indigenous communities because the modern world doesn't give a fuck. Like, I'm telling you, these are the people who can organize amounts of labor and food and community grassroots stuff in ways that the gringo world cannot even fathom. Like, it's just, I'm just stunned that somebody can live in Peru and apparently not have been living at all in the Peru that I grew up in and that I live in and that I love. And, thinks that indigenous Peruvians are just illiterate, ignorant, impoverished peasants, because that's not true. Yeah, esto trataré de decir más o menos rápidamente, pero hay mucho que decir. Yo ya lo dije en inglés, lo puedes ver también anteriormente en mi Instagram, pero también aquí les comento en castellano. Ya, yo me crecí aquí en Cusco, o bueno, en el campo, cerca al Cusco, y ahora vivo entre Cusco y Ollantaytambo, que es un pueblo más pequeño, pero me crecí en Chinchero, y me encuentro ahorita en unas conversaciones, mayormente con personas extranjeras que tienen la opinión de que es imposible que la gente del sur, de provincias, de donde sea, podrían organizar y también financiar esta marcha de los Cuatro Suyos o la toma de Lima, como dicen, ¿no? Todo de manifestaciones que está haciendo ahorita. Y bueno, creen que como la gente originaria de las poblaciones quechuas, aymaras, todo eso, son personas humildes y pobres y no tienen mucha educación y no tienen recursos para hacer nada como esto. Y creen que por eso tendría que ser financiado por intereses extranjeros o minerías ilegales o podría ser narcotraficantes o grupos de terrorismo, lo que sea. Es imposible, dicen que sería gente común. Y yo les digo que en ese caso, usted nunca ha participado en muchas cosas que sí son de nuestra cultura aquí en el sur del Perú. Yo te digo que no habrás conocido a ni un cargullo de una fiesta, no habrás ido a participar tampoco, nadie te habrá traído panjurca, nadie te habrá invitado a hacer nada en Aini, tampoco nunca habrás participado en una actividad pro salud cuando alguien necesita apoyo y ni siquiera alguien te habrá invitado a participar en una faena, que se trata de la manera en que se ha mantenido la infraestructura prehispánica a que tiene que servir, ¿no? Que tiene que seguir funcionando en el campo y que aún funciona en muchos sitios. Y no les interesa al gobierno nacional, no les interesa a los de Lima si es que la gente en el campo tiene que hacer eso para sobrevivir. Yo sí, gracias a la gente del campo, sigo viva hoy día, o si no, yo ni siquiera hubiera llegado a mis 6 años de edad. Y todo lo que tengo bueno en la vida yo debo a las comunidades aquí en el Cusco, donde me han criado, ¿no? Y yo doy muchas gracias a mis Yachtamasicuna, Chincharomanta, de todo eso, pero no puedo creer que los extranjeros ni siquiera pueden imaginar. Es igual como cuando dicen que, bueno, Sacsayhuamán debe ser algo que han construido extraterrestres porque nosotros, de la raza blanca, no lo podemos hacer. Entonces, ¿acaso estas personas de otra raza originaria lo habrán hecho? Porque son mal educados, no tienen nada de inteligencia, no tienen recursos y todo eso. Pero mira, la gente originaria que están haciendo estos viajes, todo ahora, son los herederos de esa tecnología y ese patrimonio. Y eso también es un patrimonio de que supuestamente todo Perú tiene bastante orgullo, Entonces todos quieren tener su restaurante en Lima que se llama Sumac Mihui, pero no quieren que hay de veras gente en Congreso o donde sea que están hablando quechua. Y así es pues, ¿no? Sabemos que es muy complicado todo esto, pero más que todo es increíble que esa gente que ni siquiera conocen al Perú pueden tener esa opinión. Yo les digo que si cada persona que viene a la protesta trae la cantidad de plata que traerían para una caja de chela para llevar a cualquier fiesta, ya está, ya se ha pagado. Y ni necesitamos el apoyo que ha brindado así personas como Yarita Lisset y otros músicos y personas famosas y todo. ¿Y acaso es la verdad que la gente originaria todos son pobres, humildes, no tienen nada? Tienen sus empresas, tienen sus compañías, tienen sus casas, terrenos y pueden hacer muchas cosas. Y es un insulto de veras que personas extranjeras no creen que eso sea posible, en mi opinión. Ya, eso nomás por el momento. Chao.